So now let's go to the next one, and we're going to say now we're going to be on in the E Phrygian. We're on the second. Now the second is an even number. Therefore, when I do a chord construction, we skip it 1, 3, 5, 7, and then we go to the 9. So the 9, if I think of it as a circle, is equivalent to the second. So we can call it then, it's going to be in essence a minor second or a minor 9 if we think about it from a chord construction perspective, remembering that I'm not trying to think about octaves, I'm just thinking about all the notes like in a circle here. And so now so the 9 in that thought process is equivalent to the second. All right, so this is the funny one. So this is the one that's the distinguishing factor between the Phrygian and the minor, because even the minor has a major second, a 2-note away major second. The Phrygian has that half step, which is right there, gives you that jaws sound. Remembering that the inverse is the 11-note away, a major 7. So you get that sound, and so that means that what if you wanted to like pivot from, like, you went to C major and then you made the D the focal point, you went to D Dorian because they have all the same notes and you just made it sound like the D was the focal point, and then you go to E Phrygian and then maybe you want to switch to E minor. What if you wanted to switch to E minor? Well, then what you could do is you can just move that second instead of doing the half step, we can move it up, augment it to here, and you could just adjust your shape, shifting the second up, and then you'd basically be playing the shape that is in accordance with an E minor as opposed to an E Phrygian, and then you can look at all of the related modes based on the E minor, right? So you could start to see how like all these things fit together so that you can play in different scales, but also possibly how you can move from one mode to another mode somewhat seamlessly by seeing how closely related they are. What's the focal point that I could shift from, any of these related modes I can shift to, because they're all the same notes, by just making the focal point these. It's not that it's easy to say, it's not as easy to do in practice, but if you practice that, you would think you can basically do that, right? And then you can go to any of these notes and go to their related major or minor scale fairly easily, you would think. Why? Because they only have one interval that's different. So then you just have to change one note, because if you didn't play that note, you wouldn't even know whether you're in, for example, E Phrygian, or if you're in E minor. If you didn't play the second, it would be ambiguous on that front. And then if you just switched from the second being the minor second to the major second, then you would have made the subtle switch going to the right. So anyway, that's going. My head is hurting. My head is hurting. So let's move on. So the second is going to be right here. So we're going to go boom, boom. On the second, it's going to be one note away. What if I went up one string? So then we have an F. There's back here. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 back. So this is the one that has the maximum distance. I see another one up here that's past 12, which is past where we repeat. So let's just look at this one, even though that's one's a little bit more difficult to reach because it's going to go backwards towards the fatter frets. If I go up one, and I'm going to say, okay, I'm looking for the one note away, a minor second. But if I go up, I have to look for the inverse distance. So the inverse distance would be 12 minus 1, which would be 11. So if I go say this is going to be -5 from here to here, 4 or 6 or -6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So therefore, if I went from this, let's count it this way, it'd be -5, -6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So if I went from here to, where was I here? It's kind of a funky sound. That would be the 11 note away major 7. But if I go up from E to F, that's going to be the one note away minor second, which is equivalent to a one note away minor ninth from a chord construction standpoint, at least the way we're looking at it. All right, so then if I go on the same one, it's going to be right there. So, and then if I go down 1, we see the F is back here, so I just have to count one note away. I'm using the wrong colors. I want to use my E over here, this one. So how do I count that? It's going to be, now I can count normally. I need to go up 1 to get to the one note away minor second. So I have 5 here, then 4, 3, 2, 1. Counting it this way, 5 here, 4, 3, 2, 1. So boom, boom. And that means that if I go down 1 string, then the one note away minor second or one note away minor ninth will always be 1, 2, 3, 4 frets back unless I'm crossing the fault line, in which case, because the tectonic plate shifted to the right, it would be less, right? It would be shifted up, and therefore it would only be 3 frets back instead of 4 frets back. All right, let's do the next one down. We're going to go say here, there it is. So now I'm looking for the one note away minor second. So we're going to say this is going to be 5, 10, and then 11, 12, or 0, because it goes back around the horn, and then 1. So let's do it from here. It's going to go 5, 10, and then 11, 12, or 0, and then 1. So there's my F right there. So, and you can always, it might be useful just to check that to like, I should be doing, and then do it here. So do it on the same string, and I can see that's the octave. Right, and so that's going to be that. So there it is. So that means if I go down 2 strings, the one note away minor second will always be 3 frets forward unless I cross the fault line, in which case, because this tectonic shape shifted to the right, if I cross the fault line, and I go down 2 strings, the one note away minor second will be 1, 2, 3, 4 frets forward in that case. All right, let's go down to the next one. So we'll go down here. We have going down 3 strings and crossing the fault line. So that's 5, 10, 15, and then I could go from 15 down to 3. 15 minus 12 is 3, 2, 1. So let's count that out this way. I've got from here, there's my E on the 7th fret, 5, 10, shifting up to get to 15 here. 15 minus 12 is 3, and then we're going 2, 1. All right, so there we have it from here to here. So if I go down 1, 2, 3, if I go down 3 strings and cross the fault line, the one note away minor second will be 1 fret back. What if I didn't cross the fault line? Well, because this fault line shifted everything to the right, you'd have to go 2 frets back if it wasn't crossing the fault line. So normally, if I go down 3 strings, the one note away minor second would be 2 frets back, unless, as the exception here, we do cross the fault line, then it would only be 1 fret back. Okay, so let's go down to the next one, and it's going to be down here. Now you could use the trick that we did before and say, okay, that's kind of, this string is quicker to get to, and it has the same notes on it. So could I go up? If I go up, I have to use the inverse though. So I got to say, okay, well, it's a one note away minor second. The inverse distance, therefore, is 12 minus 1, or 11. And that would be -5, 6, -7, -8, -9, -10, -11. If I get to it here, it will be the same note down here. Or I can count it out this way, 5, 10, 15, which I could say 15 minus 12 is 3, plus 5 is 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom. So it would be way over there, and I can't quite reach it because it's 6 frets. It's right in the middle. So that's the one that's going to be out of reach. All other intervals will basically be within reach. All right, let's go to the next one down.